Welcome everyone, this is Danish. We are starting a new series on career services. Now this is basically when a member go to our courses. On first course, when you start, let's say you go to dashboard and you start the IT Fundamental V1.0 course and you start from introduction, then there's a career assessment that you do. So this assessment is 100 points, and this is basically to kind of help people individually. But if you are someone who's starting IT for the first time, then I don't think even going through this form is going to help you. You can actually fill the form just so we have some sort of idea, but you're still going to get this generic download PDF from us, because if you're brand new to IT, you need all of this stuff, and it's a generic way of learning things, right? We're going to say these are important, these are less important, and things like that. So this you're going to be getting the same PDF. You're not going to be getting something very customized unless you have a very special case. But this form is going to really help someone who have some sort of skills, or they're moving from one country to another country and they're in a very unique situation, or they're applying for jobs. But a lot of people come to our platforms, they're either watching just YouTube videos, so yes, they're learning a lot from it, but there's a lot of things that are missing from YouTube that we are teaching in JSS right now. So you could have a different situation going on, and for that I think this form, that when you fill it out, when you come over here and you click here and you go over this interactive quiz, then you get to understand that there are things that are missing, because we created this pretty much with research. So the idea of this video is to go over, and we can use the same video for people who are in the same situation. So we're not going to make every single video for every member, because there are tons of submissions. So we will use one video to counter people in the same category. So for privacy reason, of course, I am not revealing any emails or names. So let's get started. So this individual is basically a student, first year cybersecurity student, passionate about learning new topics related to computing, developing my skills on a daily basis in programming, networking, currently studying for CCNA, which is a great thing, planning to take and pass exam next summer. So this student is already on target, great. Moreover, I'm planning to start doing some systems administration this summer, so that by the next year I would be ready for a good internship. Okay, so this is great. The target of this student is on the spot. He is into cybersecurity, but he's also learning networking, which is going to help eventually cybersecurity in long run. And of course, if you're learning about programming, that is going to be also required in some of the cybersecurity jobs. And if you're learning system administration, it just opens up a little bit more career opportunities in IT. But the thing about this is that yes, you as a student, if you're targeted and you're going through this from this academic learning, I'm not even going through below stuff. If this is your academic approach, then yes, that's a good approach, because you're on a target, you're learning something, and I'm sure university will help you out in some areas. Now, you haven't taken any JSS courses, which is big for us, but I have taken Python programming courses, introduction to computer security. So all of these kind of like calculus and stuff like that, these are generic courses that we think is great for you to enhance your learning. But when you're trying to get into IT, and if your goal is to land IT jobs, that's where things are going to change a little bit, because these things are great, but it's really not helpful for getting an IT job, technical jobs, because that's where things change for a lot of people. They finish degrees and then they come to us and, hey, I'm not doing any success. I did this whole program with my college, but there's no luck for it. So the point now is that you haven't taken any JSS courses. Maybe you will take this career service review seriously, and you will start some courses from us. So then at least you can go to these jobs and with some technical background, and then you can use that towards whatever position you're trying to go for. Now, it really depends on your goals, right? We tell a student, if you're a student and you're going to study for something like this is your academic learning. This is just your university learning, and it's going to take you time. My approach in this area is that I tell students that why don't you get some sort of entry-level IT job first by going through skills. You learn CompTIA A plus sort of skills. You learn Active Directory, Office 365, and then there's a lot of these companies out there. They're looking for students. So company A, company B. Company A could be a normal non-profit company, like a single company that is run by a normal IT department. In this company, there are different roles: IT manager, systems administrator. So I'm going to put manager, system administrator, network engineer. There are going to be IT support people, or it could be a very small company with very less people. So they're always moving, right? Some people move from one position to another position, even inside the companies, and then there's this empty space for this entry-level person. So a lot of time they look for students because these people are willing to teach you, right? So if you're going to study for this stuff, because these are considered to be advanced positions. Some people may come and say, look, I got a job in cybersecurity. The first thing, I got a job in cybersecurity. But I can guarantee you go all around the internet right now, a lot of people will tell you this. Majority of them will tell you that cybersecurity is not an entry-level job, right? It's if somebody say entry-level cybersecurity analyst, that does not mean it's a first job for a student to just get it right away, right? So a lot of it doesn't work that way. Now, I'm not saying it can't happen. It can't happen. In IT, anything can happen. In IT, you can totally just cross my video right now and just pick the template from our videos and start applying to jobs, and you may even land a job like that. You may be liked by someone. Oh man, this person is so good in customer service, we're just gonna hire him. We're gonna teach this person. In IT, anything can happen. It's all mindset. And stop looking at that kind of stuff where people say you need A plus, you need CCNA to get a job, you need this to get a job. No, our platform have proven that for 10 years now. That's not true. But we also don't say you don't need it. If you want to learn this content, is great. If you want to learn this content, it's awesome. You should do it because it does have a lot of research behind it. So go for it, but that doesn't mean you cannot land an entry-level job. So the summary, in this scenario where you are here right now, you can go with still an entry-level job, and people don't have to give you internship. They can give you a full-blown job in IT. You don't have to do all of this training and learning just to get a good internship. Go for a good job. You did all this stuff, you did all these skills. If you added some skills that you don't have right now, I have seen your review, I'm going to show it to you. You don't need to just stick with internship anymore. Why would you do that? Go for the job. Go get some money that you deserve. And if you get a job early on in this study, you add that 1 or 2 years of experience. Think about it. You get into a good company, then they can even offer you to pay for your study. People do that. A lot of people do that. A lot of good companies do that. A lot of good managers support you because high chances are you will be their cybersecurity person, you will be their system administration person, network engineer person. If you stick with them, you use their resources, they know they trust you, and you, of course, they're paying you good money. Why would you move somewhere else, right? A lot of people have done it. I did it that way. So a lot of students do this mistake. They get into this study zone and they just stick there. Look, if you're going to go out of this study after 2 years, most of the content that you're studying over here is changed. It's no longer valid. Yes, it's going to help you, but the cloud is changing so fast that even 2 years to me is scary for people now, right? So be smart. You have to think about yourself, your future. Then you need to get in quickly, get that experience behind you. And with this experience, when you get in as an entry-level position in IT support, you get to see these people. You get to work with them. So this way, if you have visualized that this is your dream job, it may not be so much of your dream job anymore, right? You may like it, maybe it may be your dream job, and you will 100% say that is my dream. Now I know because I worked with them, I know what they do, I love it, I love it, I love it. Or you may look at it and like, oh my God, I hate this stuff. What I was doing? You don't want to be those type of people also that when you spend so many years in doing some study and some technical things and getting into Kali, Linux, this, that, and then you later on find out that that is not what you want to do because the most of these jobs are business oriented. It's not something you go into companies and start attacking systems and, it's like a movie. Yeah, so for some people it may be like that, but I'm just saying that by getting in, you get to see it, the reality, under the business rules, under the team, under working with the team, collaboration, under managers. You get to work with them. And then you get to decide that is this really you want. But the benefit of getting in early is that also. So there is no harm of getting in early in IT. The only thing that I can say is if somebody is too busy, they have too much going on in study, then maybe, yeah, it's a little hard because you may be doing work and doing study like I was doing. So if you don't have that kind of mindset, you can't fight that off, then yes, it's not a good idea to just stick with this process right here and then maybe learn on the side. So are you currently actively applying for IT roles? You say no, for time being I'm studying and devoting myself time for preparation. So this is the whole thing that I just talked about here, right? So that's your choice right there. I don't agree with this, right? Like I don't agree with this. In IT, like I said, it's a technical jobs and people are moving fast. So there's no time that you're going to just sit and study for something like this, which you're going to find out later on, which is not an entry level job anymore. Unless you are super targeted, unless you are approaching right people, unless you are going to right events, unless you're making right connections, then you hit the nail and then you just boom, you just get the first job in cybersecurity and everything is good to go, right? That's your approach. A lot of people don't have that approach. Then in this assessment, we give you some information like this is IT support role or job duties. Do you know some of the basics or some of the things around this role? So you mentioned that you didn't know this information, which basically is why why we are on YouTube. A lot of people look for us, and that's kind of like where now you are. Similarly, you're basically saying you didn't know this information. You went ahead, we did some testing over here, not testing, just kind of find out, do you know what level 1 means? You matched it, and basically your answers are same basics over here. So you can see, now this is an important part where we give you templates or job demos, like entry-level IT professional technician, and then this is a requirement. And based on this, your basically response is that I think I can perform 40% of given task. Probably you looked at some of this, and some of this are pretty basic, like note taking, prioritizing tasks and everything. Then we move on and we give you another one, and we put like experience in entry level 1 or 2 years. There's a lot of people put that in there, right? So here you say no, I'm not ready for this job, right? So for this, you're basically saying that you're not comfortable with WAN, LAN, printers, troubleshootings and things like that. It got to a little more advanced. And then there's a level 1 position right here. You went down ahead, and then you say, no, I'm not ready for this job. So a lot of it is just basics again. Do you know how to do Active Directory stuff? Some of the basics. A lot of people put a lot of mixtures, like, they may not be even doing help desk support. It may be sysadmin stuff. Then on number 4, we also gave you information right here about another one, and then you're like, okay, I probably don't know, and you're kind of like not sure about it. Then after that, we did some checking that do you know some of the basics, like Microsoft Word is an application that can be installed on an operating system. You did some of it, most of it probably correct, because if you look at it, all of this information is correct, but there are some that you had some trouble. Like for example, this one is not a built-in feature, and some of it, of course, you did manage it pretty well. Now, this is the most important part of this assessment, where people say we ask some specific questions about the in-demand skills. Like this is the stuff that you really need to know to overcome the experience part of getting into IT. A lot of people, they finish A+, they finish college education, they feel that they're confident to land those jobs, but when they go to interviews, a lot of these questions are related to Active Directory, Office 365, ticketing system, and some applications that you have never seen before, right? So that's the reason we ask you these questions. So you're pretty comfortable with ticketing system, but then you look at it, you're missing the major parts, which is Active Directory. I mean, if you put no to this, that's going to be a major one that is going to be basically, stop you from many of these jobs. And people who have lab experience or some sort of experience, whether it's a educational experience or whether it's a internship experience, whether it's a normal jobs, entry level, yes, you're going to need to know this stuff. Unfortunately, you need to go through it. It doesn't matter what kind of education you are taking, you have to go. And another major skill that you're missing is Office 365, as you put no to that as well. And again, if you look at it, most of these companies these days are using Active Directory, Office 365 for Active Directory on premises. Like a lot of companies have internal servers and everything is connected through Active Directory. And nowadays people are using webmails and Office 365, OneDrive. So much is going on in this just two areas. Even the whole company's focus has changed for the IT support now, and this is a major two areas for IT support staff members that they need to know this stuff. The more you go into advanced places where they have tiers or their companies are bigger or somebody's managing it a better way, you're going to come across software deployments, inventory. These are the skills that is being used in a bigger areas, like or something that you want to go for. Let's say you got a job in a one-man IT shop type of area. They may not use a lot of this stuff. They may do use it, by the way, but when you go to bigger companies, it's managed more properly. So they may go for deployments like SCCM, different type of tools that you need to know. Now, do know that you don't need to master none of these skills. You just need to know the basics, as long as you can just go to the interview and they talk about Active Directory, Office 365, deployments, and you give them something, some basics. So this is where people let go of that experience, years of experience that somebody put on their job description for entry levels. They let go of that because they know you know these things, and these things are important for a company, for IT professionals. It's less time to train you, because if you're going to go with extremely no knowledge, where all of these things are no, you are going to be kind of very hard to train for that team that is very fast paced, and they're going to definitely look for someone who have more experience than, even if they have someone who have lab experience and you two are the options. Of course they're going to go with someone with lab experience, because these are the things that matters to them. So going forward, virtualization, everything is working on virtualization. You may come across the companies that may use this, so that's also no. If you look at it, the remote administration and troubleshooting, if you look at it right now, everybody's remote. So if we go into remote right now, if somebody was to hire you for a job and it's 60% remote calls, and you don't have any experience in this area, of course it's going to be very hard for them to hire you. Then you went over, this is something that we don't go into detail. I just wanted to, that's like when later on, if you become a member of this JSS and you're trying to follow on, then I'm going to try to come back to this. But for now, it's kind of like, very simple for you. When I went through your, interview questions too, there are things that you may have to work on, and that's something you have to go through. Some of our courses like resume or applying for interview questions or just watching the YouTube videos could be enough. So my recommendation for you is, because you're missing all of these skills and you want to learn skills, then you want to start everything from kind of scratch. Scratch is not something that you need to learn everything at the very basic level. JSS skills development platform even the fundamental is way more practical than, some people think that this may be just very basic theory, stuff like that. So my recommendation is to follow the PDF at this point, because you're kind of starting, and follow the PDF. Make sure that you should cover everything and focus more on the red side of it. So this PDF that you have gotten from our course or from our dashboard, or you went to the course directly, you went in here to the my courses, either you started that course. Let me just go and show it to you one more time. You go to part 1. This is the course right here, the bottom one, IT Fundamentals Part 1. Once you start it, you're going to click on continue course or start the course. And if you truly want to learn skills, you will take it very seriously and not skip anything, because if you want to become skillful, this is not about finishing courses quickly and just winning the race or passing certifications anymore. It's about you getting skillful, less stress, and moving up in this career quickly and smartly is the key for a modern IT professional. We are not in a classic mode anymore where you have to learn a lot of technical things and you will claim that stuff. You want to do things smartly, whether you want to do it with a lot of technical learning or soft skills learning. However you want to do this, you have to spend that time over here. So with these courses, make sure you kind of continue the courses, because the course kind of leads you to another course, and another course leads you to another course. And with this PDF, everything is a little bit more quick way for you to find what is really important. So that's what you need to do. Follow this generic PDF. Red is the important one, and then keep on moving. And later on, when you get stuck somewhere, you need more guidance, then you can come back to us and we can help you. Thank you so much. I hope this helps you and other people in the same situation.